Sergey, it's time to fly.
Yeah, let's put some shit on. Easy peasy.
I'd be pretty stupid not to use this spot. Beautiful.
Map, current location, L1 Just if you left the game.
Still got it.
Map, current location, L1 bud. Nine elms, square button fast travel, L1 button switch tab left, R1 button switch tab right, L3 button social, L2 BUDDO and R2 button zoom, cross button set waypoint, circle button back. Faithful 3000 left the game.
I never really did well at school because all I ever wanted to do was play football.
My manager kept saying, try and keep it under wraps. So we would meet in car parks, and that's not as serious as it sounds.
Classy.
I suppose that most blokes that go to the television so like, don't fucking end up with them.
My life had become something different.
We were worried that he'd lose all what he'd worked for. Because football come first, and all of a sudden it wasn't.
Big smile.
It definitely didn't change for him.
Well, it changed. There's no doubt about that.
That's SPARKZ.
There's a red card for David Beckham.
I don't think I've ever talked about it just because I can't. I wasn't eating. I wasn't sleeping. It took a toll on me that I never even knew myself.
Ferguson admitted he had kicked the boot, accidentally striking Beckham.
And then I've got like that. And then I've got like that.
You went at him.
Yeah.
Also drive now, baby.
Service car to town, right? Unless you're in it.
It's alright, Buster. They can't get into the car. We were drowning.
But he just kept going.
I don't give up easy.
My predictive subroutines detect an imminent threat in this area. Stick around. Your services may be needed.
City event incoming.
I felt very vulnerable and alone.
Auto drive now disabled.
I am being honest.
Who are you gonna kick tonight? If I told him how good he was, then he's got nothing to work at.
I remember saying to Bex, "Thank fuck you on our team." What do you do afterwards? Sink or swim? There was something inside of that determination.
I need a bigger drone.
You haven't seen nothing yet.
There's more to go.
Maybe.
Let's go, bitches. Challenge next time.
Come on in for a cracking festive feast.
But this Christmas dinner deserved a fanfare. A generous spread, plenty to share. Like fresh British turkey with trimmings galore. Succulent and tender, and now available in store.
Straight away. Drone, initiate
Box
search
seat,
protocol.
Free stuff falling like snow.
Trail's gone cold. Let's regroup.
Get right to the point.
As you know, we're in a serious battle.
Our time is getting short. We need to do something about these conversions.
That's why we're here. Any ideas? Let's tell him there is no God.
No, I don't believe that. All you do is look around creation, you can see that he exists. Let's tell him God doesn't love them because they're all sinners.
That won't work either, because the Bible says God loves them in spite of their sin. That's why Jesus died.
Well, let's tell them that all roads lead to heaven, whether they believe in Jesus or not.
That'll work for a while, but eventually they're going to find out what's written in Scripture.
And Jesus is the only way. Right. Right.
I let me worship God in heaven. And with this music, I'll take his people to hell.
Infiltrator Spider, a stealth-based spider capable of performing non-lethal top-downs, L3 button social, square button blue back menu, right stick rotate, triangle button skins, circle button back.
But mark this, there will be terrible times in the last days. People will be lovers of themselves, lovers of money, boastful, proud, abusive, disobedient to their parents, ungrateful, unholy, without love, unforgiving, slanderous, without self-control, brutal, not lovers of the good, treacherous, rash, conceited, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God, having a form of godliness but denying its power. Have nothing to do with them.
We'd like to forewarn you to brace yourself, because what you are about to see is hardcore truth that much of the mainstream media would like to keep hidden from your eyes. Hardcore truth that MTV, VH1, 60 Minutes 2020 would not dare show you. We're about to examine the true history of rock and roll. We're about to look at the industry of rock music and those associated with it, and how they sold their souls for rock and roll.
But there's this whole satanic influence it's believed to be behind rock and roll music. Do you think that's true?
Oh, no. People, think that, Satanism, it's not like that. It's just music. It's rock and roll. That's all it is.
So the rest of it's just kind of a show.
Oh, yeah.
Satan was one of the greatest musicians alive, right? Wasn't he? And then he turned evil, but I don't think this is really recommending evil. I think kids' outlooks on music is described more or less like what's cool and what's not,
Do you think Satan has any influence on rock music? No.
I wouldn't say it's satanic. No, it's not satanic.
This
It's
will be left the game.
People listen to what they want to listen to. There seems to be a lot of implications that heavy metal and Lizzee music contains a lot of demonic or satanic overtones. What do you think about that?
Do you think he has any influence on rock music?
No.
Not at all?
There's no message in rock music that has anything to do with the devil or Satan or anything.
Searching for whoever's operating this spider.
Neil Young sings a song about the true meaning of rock and roll and states, hey, my, rock and roll will never die. There's more to the picture than meets the eye. That's what this rockumentary is about. It's about those parts of the picture that don't meet the eye at first glance, but once they're brought into focus, you start to see the whole picture. And you start to see its very dark, grim picture. As Neil Young continued to say, rock and roll is out of the blue and into the black. We're about to see about just how black it's actually been. Even as Satan deceived the first humans to do their own thing and lied to them, telling them that they could become gods, Satan is using MTV to condition the youth of the world to do their own thing and live as though they were their own gods. Even as this MTV advertisement demonstrates, MTV is Satan's vehicle to reach the masses around the world. Bob Pittman, the founder and former president of MTV, stated, quote, "The strongest appeal you can make is emotionally. If you can get their emotions going, make them forget their logic, you've got them." MTV founder Bob Pittman also boasted, quote, "At MTV, we don't shoot for the 14-year-olds, we own them." MTV is using the subversive power of music and popular teen idols to deceive our children. If you are a parent, MTV is targeting your child. If you are a young person, MTV is targeting you. Madonna told the LA Times that she's a very tormented person most of the time. She went on to state that she's possessed by many demons. And just what are these demons doing through Madonna? Here we see that they are promoting homosexual marriage and seeking to destroy God's plan for the family. At the 2003 MTV Video Music Awards, Madonna, Britney Spears, and Christina Aguilera promoted homosexual marriage. As Madonna descends from the wedding chapel as a groom, she takes Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera in a lesbian polygamous type relationship. Why was Madonna fondling and French-kissing Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera on stage before millions of their impressionable fans at the MTV Music Awards on August 28, 2003? Madonna has acknowledged that she uses homosexual activity on stage before her fans to desensitize them. She knows that if she shows homosexual activity over and over and over again, the convictions of her audiences will be eroded. Listen to what Madonna said to a homosexual magazine. Quote, "They digest it on a lot of different levels. Some people will see it and be disgusted by it, but maybe they'll be unconsciously aroused by it. If people keep seeing it and seeing it and seeing it, eventually it's not going to be such a strange thing." Why did Pepsi pay both Madonna and Britney Spears millions and millions of dollars to advertise their product? Pepsi is well aware that if Madonna or Britney Spears is seen drinking a Pepsi, millions of their fans will turn out and drink Pepsi. What does this have to say with Madonna's admission that she practices homosexuality on stage to promote homosexuality? And where are seemingly innocent pop stars ultimately leading their young and impressionable fan base? Here we see Britney Spears wearing the number of the Antichrist, 666, on her shirt. God's word, the Bible, states that one day, every nation, kindred, and tongue will have to take the number of the beast or the mark of the beast on the right hand of the forehead. Rock stars are desensitized to the public, very evil that is just around the corner. At that time, humanity will have to make a choice as to whether they will serve Jesus Christ or Satan publicly. Sadly, this sexual perversion we've seen portrayed on MTV stage to millions of fans is a sign of the times. Newsweek reported that every society in history that has embraced homosexuality as a lifestyle was later destroyed.
What the
Egypt,
fuck
Babylon,
is
Greece,
this?
and Rome all fell after they began to embrace...
Yeah, shit off, jeez.
Oh, come all ye peckish. The festive one returns to Domino's with pulled turkey, Cumberland sausage, and cranberry drizzle.
Got a job? Do your thing.
Mission expired.
Something over there. Ah, my fucking ears!
Oh, fuck this shit. You serious?
Well then.
See that then?
Where the hell are they?
Level 1 personnel report to launch base. Level 1 personnel to launch base.
They're gone! Cancel the search!
Yeah, she's up top. Is that easy or? Wait, hold up. Can we take him down?
Stupid.
Oh, everyone's points gone up to grab him.
They got away! Shit!
He got 18 influence before. Seems like I was right first time about the influence points going up.
And Vermoilen, professional hitman, charges dropped for killing a home invader. 30 influence, Desert Eagle plus G36 weapon arsenal, gun kata, instant gun takedowns, combat roll, evasive dodge, cross button view, square button recruit, L1 button switch tab left, R1 button switch tab right, L3 button social, circle button back.
Next, it's This guy here, if we can get him on his classic voice, other than exaggerations.
Auto drive now enabled.
Yes.
Censorship of it, so people like him, then Eric Clark Kelly at Flatbush Zombies, John Perry from the only ones who joined us on the Dead Cut Second record, and Pete, of course, because they carried on writing together. Him and Peter did. Do you know that song Who's Been Having It Over?
Yeah.
Basically, we co-wrote that together.
Okay.
Yeah, so Mark was really an incredible talent. I mean, again, he was the guy that would teach me. I didn't realise how lazy I was actually until one day I sat down with Mark and he said, "Right, we've written this really cool song," and he's like, "That's great, but we've got to write 4. We've got to write 4 bangers in one day." And but it was true. He kind of by learning that craft and he just taught me so much. You know what I mean? He was really a powerful and very talented guy. He could write bangers in his sleep.
You know on top of this guy's interview, comes out as BS.
Amazing talent.
Auto drive now disabled.
I've played with people whose music that I really love and admire. A bit like I played with Sylvain of the New York Dolls, and it was me, Gary from the Libertines, and Sylvain, and we, again playing songs that I'd listened to since I was a kid. And the last night we played at the 100 Club of that tour. We had Clint Burke.
Q1 Latinos _69 has been injured.
I've been really lucky. I've been really lucky to play with people whose music I'm a really big fan of, that I really love.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, you mentioned those names. Did you always kind of back yourself in those situations? Was playing guitar something you always felt, were you confident with, kind of thing?
In a scenario like that?
Yeah, I don't know, I guess you throw someone into that, they might be a bit phased by it, but you kind of grow up around these names, I guess.
The game.
Well, I still was petrified. I mean, I pretended not to be, but I secretly was, yeah. And I still am. I mean, essentially, I may have done quite a lot, but essentially I still
69 left the game.
feel like how I felt at, say, 11 when I first picked the guitar up. A music fan who just happens to have gotten ahead and played with the people that I like,
Yeah.
I can confirm there is imminent danger in the area.
City event incoming.
Is there anyone out there that you'd love to play with but you haven't so far?
Sometimes I feel like if I
This
played
guy in
with
his
everybody
interview makes out he's played with fucking everyone.
It might not
All
work
of his
out,
idols in
and
particular.
I might, do you know what I mean? Because there's so much stress and pressure and stuff in this industry that if I played with everybody that I liked, for example, there's a group called Death in June, who I've been a fan of forever, basically, since I was a teenager. And their music's very hard to pinpoint down. Sometimes it's very folky, other times it's electronic. It's the press dubbed it neo-folk, whatever that is. But the music's very sort of pagan and reminiscent of greater times, I suppose, and very spiritual. And I love this guy's music. The singer's called Douglas Pierce. I love his music, but I don't know if I'd want to actually write songs or perform on stage with him, just simply because I think sometimes it's good to, if you're really, really connected to a certain style of music or a certain album or an artist, sometimes it's good just to have that distance, it's like, I don't, you know, if I got to play with everyone that I like, maybe I might appreciate it a little less or something, you know. Not to say that I do with the others. Every experience I've had up to now has been fantastic. Getting, like, for example, I'm really excited to write with Rose McDowell, who also is probably best known for being a Strawberry Switchblade, but she also did some stuff with Death and June, Current 93, Boyd Rice, all these people who are part of that scene. So all the time I'm getting to do it still, which in my advanced age, considering it's my birthday, they always say how I feel very lucky to be doing, you know. Because I remember when I turned 30 thinking, oh no, you know, it's all over. But ironically, I had more opportunities in my 30s than I ever had in my 20s, you know. So, yeah, I think there are times, obviously, because now we live in an age where, you know, downloads pay you a pittance. You know, for instance, I Deck Up did a track with
this guy's
a hip-hop group called Flatbush Zombies, who are one of my favourite hip-hop groups. We got 250,000 hits for that song on YouTube alone, not to mention all the downloads and that. And I just got, I got the first royalty check I was expecting to be really good, and it really was quite disappointing. And that's when I realised, oh my god, you know, what people say about downloads is true. You know, it's like, it's a joke, you know. And I think, you know, I know there's stuff like Bandcamp, there's ways around it and that, but you know, like I said, I much prefer times when, you know, you got signed to a label, you got your money, and alright, you had to pay it back, but, you know what I mean, like, it just, there was a more order and structure to it. Now it's like, almost like chaos, you don't know, you know, what's gonna happen. There's no...
Mate, you can still get bloody record deals where you fucking get an advance.
Find structure, whereas it was basically, when I first started out, you formed a band, you got your single out, and then the single did well, you did an EP, the EP did well, then you did an album, then you did a tour, and then, you know, and
I think, mate, it was
that way
fun
made more sense to me, but now
it was more like you made an EP, got signed up, then released a single. For most people. And after that, released an album, maybe. With a couple more singles.
I don't know, I wouldn't know or really have a clue on how to. I sort of said, oh, why don't you come and do this music panel where you could tell young people what it's like to, you know, and how to get ahead of the music industry. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding. Is there even a music industry? Let's be honest, you know. Like...
Dumbest thing ever heard, isn't it? Of course there's a bloody music industry. What do you think, no one listens to music anymore? Fucking idiot, man.
I mean, everyone I know that worked in it feels like it's a bit of a sinking ship, really.
Roll up.
Alright.
But, I mean... What am I going to do? I can't go and work in a bank, can I? So it's like...
His brother isn't even famous, so I don't know why he's talking like that. It's not like if he went and got a regular job, he'd be clocked and harassed. It's bollocks. So, mate, if you went and got qualifications, you could work in a bank, is what I'm thinking.
I'd say if you managed to just stay a full-time musician throughout this time, then...
I have, yeah, but I mean, it's not come without its hardships. You know, there's a lot of things I can't do. Like, I can't just suddenly go on holiday when I like, or, you know, like, if I do get to see the world, it's usually because I'm playing in that country. Like, went to go see Poland, went to Poland recently, played at a festival there. But again, it was like hotel, gig, hotel, aeroplane. And that's pretty much how I've seen the world.
It's
you know,
so
like,
fucking comical because he talks
I've really
such
had time
bollocks.
to do some of the things I'd like to have done, like go on a nice long holiday. And I'm not saying that I can't, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Resources in music are not what they used to be, and it's much harder now. Much harder.
So, like, what type of music you playing? Are you in bands, or like, would you be a session musician for people, or how does it work now?
I do both. So I play guitar for this old goth group called Sex Game Children, which ironically I heard in the interview with Pete Wolf. He was in band with one the original guitarist, which is mind blowing how small this world is. But I've been playing for them recently, and we've got a tour coming up of the UK next month. And I play in a band called Black Bordello, who are like kind of, I don't even know how to describe their music, like a real mix of like avant-garde, sort of jazz, but then it's like a little bit like, I guess, post-punk too. And then I've got a group called Triggers, which is sort of like electronic, with, do you remember the Little Uns and Rose's Kings and Castles? Do you remember them? Adam Check of Baby Shambles.
Right, yeah.
Castles. So Aaron, who was also in Dead Cuts, I'm doing that with, and he plays in Rose's Kings and Castles and Little Uns, and all those bands of that era as well. So he's in Triggers. And then Rose McDowell, that I told you about earlier, we're going to do an album together. Worked with an artist called Nicholas Schreck, who is an author but also does music too. So I'm doing quite a lot of things. I find that I like to have a lot of things to do, you know, and because like I said,
looks at this guy's pupils and irises, he's unknown heroin.
But yeah, it's kept me instead, and I'm able to perform regularly, release records regularly. I mean, I've always got a label that will put my stuff out. I do want to do a solo record. Me and Pete did talk about doing something that hopefully will come to fruition when the time's right. We just haven't been able to get in the studio because either he's been on the road
current location, L1 button, switch tab left, R1 button.
Existed.
But yeah, I think me and him will do something again soon.
Of course, mate.
That'll be fun.
In this guy's dreams.
Yeah,
To use square button fast travel, L1 button switch tab left, R1 button switch tab right, L3 button social, L2 view video, and L2 button zoom, cross button set waypoint, circle button back.
Job. It was working in a factory. I used to get up at 6 in the morning, right? I'd go down to the factory, and it would be dark outside, and I'd go into the factory,
college, some people
and then I'd have maybe a 20-minute break, lunchtime, go back, come out and be dark again.
God, yeah.
No, and I just thought, I can't do this to myself.
Sounds like you're really.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah, well, that's the
You spill my drink.
When I was at school,
These jokers acting like that's bad. Jeez. Am I the only one who's ever done a fucking shift where you out of the house by 6 AM, you ain't back till 3 AM? This joker just sounds laughable with me. Thoroughly. It's not just that, it's some of the other shit he says.
Music. So it was kind of like, back then music was, like if I was at school, say 5 years ago, perhaps I wouldn't have. I would have said, okay, music will be something I do as a hobby, because now there's not as much money in it. But when I was at school, You know, that was the sort
There
of,
is
if you're
just as
working
much
class,
money in
that was the
music.
dream
It's
you
just
had.
you actually have
But,
to have
you know, you
fans.
don't do that,
mate.
or you'd be a bank robber or something. You know, I mean,
A bank robber.
I would've, who knows?
This
Maybe I could have gone into crime, but I had a few opportunities to, but I didn't. I was because I just think music's what I'm meant to do. You know, I think at some point in your life you realise what you're good at and you go with it.
Honestly, guys, this guy's actually.
I've
I
had
don't even know how to word it.
reasonable amount of luck. You know, I've not. The only, I guess, thing I'd say is I would have liked to have earned a bit more cash, and I'd have liked to have had a nice big house, but
I think you might need money in a
I've
bank
got
for
my
that, not
memories
cash.
and my experiences, and they're really precious to me, you know.
And you mentioned Pete Doherty now, like, he seems to be coming, you know, through the other side of all the drugs type of stuff. Is that good to see? And, like, are you in a place where you've put it all behind you, kind of thing?
Yeah, I think we all are. It's really good. You know, like when I remember going.
Serious people
first
know he's doing
Lizzee
heroin.
in 2020. God, 21. It was in Norwich, and the difference in Peter was astounding. You know, he was just so much more articulate and so much more present, and you know, yeah, I mean, what a talent that guy is. You know, I mean, one of the things that really impressed me actually when I first met him was his stamina and the way he could write song after song after song. You know, he never put his guitar down. And I think he's not to say he had neglected that or anything like that, but I think he's finding that same zest and zeal again.
Zest and zeal from your throat.
And it's a beautiful thing. I want to see him happy, you know, because he deserves it.
Switch tab left, R1 button, switch tab right, L3 button, social, circle button back.
Real people, real fruits.
Excellent, mate. Yeah. Well, hopefully you'll support him at some point, and I'll come along and watch.
Yeah, come on down. Yeah, that'd be great. I'm sure it will happen again. You know, that always seems to happen. So it's a reoccurrence, definitely.
Yeah. I can imagine, like, I don't know, the people that have been there since for a while, you kind of feel a special bond with them, I guess.
Yeah, well, I mean, people say that word, that sense, that right place, right time, and I have to say, I remember once being at Peter's and when he lived in that flat white chapel, and For Lovers had just come out, and like, Wolfman rocked up about 4 in the morning and knocked on the door and came in, and I think they just got the pressing of For Lovers, and Peter had this old kind of vinyl player, and he put it on, and I just remember at that point thinking, wow, you know, this is a really great moment. And then of course within a year they were the biggest thing ever. I mean, I remember Baby Shambles, that especially that original lineup, they were just so powerful live. You know, you come away from a gig and you know, you felt like a jolt of light. You know, it was so exciting to see them play. I loved the second lineup with Mick and everything, but when I would see Pat and Gemma and Drew, but my God, they had such a they were like a powerhouse, you know, on stage. And, I don't know if you heard this, but I auditioned Baby Shambles one night. It was me and the Parrot Boys. We were all in a room together, and I think I turned up a bit late and maybe a little inebriated, and I think Peter at that point was kind of like wanting to have a more steady
I'm the hammer, you're the nail
thing going on. But actually, that said, I think half of anyone who could play music at that time was auditioning for Baby Shambles. But you definitely got the right.
Right, because Baby Shambles were really good.
That early line. It was just magic. They were so powerful live. So powerful. Did you ever see them around that time?
Yeah, in Hull they played from that tour. Yeah. It was at the Welly, that one of them.
Oh, right. I played the Adelphi a few times.
Oh, yeah.
I love Hull. I think it's a great place. And I really enjoyed it down there. Like, I played the Adelphi probably like 3 or 4 times.
Oh, yes.
Great.
Oh, this
great
will do.
Yeah, a lot of history in that place, yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, mate, like, cheers for chatting, problem. It's been great.
No worries.
Just like one to finish on, like, what is your standout album of the 2000s, do you think?
That's really difficult.
Well, in the beginning, I reckon this is from the bloody 90s.
No, then, you alright?
There we go, mate. How are you?
Location.
Not bad,
L1 button,
yeah.
switch tab left.
Yeah,
R1
not
button,
too
switch
bad.
tab right.
Happy
L2
birthday.
button, social. L2 video, and R2 button, zoom. Cross button,
thing,
set
but,
waypoint. Circle button,
endeavour
back.
to do my best.
Yeah. Yeah, happy birthday, by the way.
Thank you very much, yeah. It's weird, isn't it, birthdays? Once you get past 16, it ceases to sort of...
I was supposed to be 45 at the time.
I just like, after 16. Right, after 16 I was like, right, I'm not going to count the numbers. Yeah. I daren't.
No, I mean, like, the idea of having a birthday gathering just seems far too much effort these days.
Yeah. Everyone was like, so you can have a party and all that? I was like, no way.
Sorry guys, this guy's just fucking comical.
I'm in South London.
Lies he tells us.
Greenwich, okay,
Cool.
How about you?
I'm up in Manchester.
Oh, nice. Which part?
Amston. It's just Greater Manchester, yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, cheers for sending me all that info. Like, it's interesting stuff. I think it's fair to say you've had a relatively unusual upbringing and life, really.
Yeah, you could say that. That's one way of saying, definitely, yeah.
But you were kind of born into music kind of culture.
Yeah, I mean, I was born
some good resistance
in above the studios called Underhill Studios, and it was a studio on Blackheath Hill in South London, and it had the likes of Squeeze. I think the only ones came there a few times. Genesis, Bowie, Lou Reed. Iggy Pop. So, I mean, as a kid, I remember hearing them like downstairs and hearing the music, and it's always
Studios
been
don't
there,
tend to,
you know, and I think my mother was working
from them.
on the
They
door
tend
at the
to
time
be
and
soundproof.
booking some of the acts, and it was primarily owned by my father's side of the family, which they then shifted it to New Cross. But it was. I mean, I don't remember much of it because I was very little, but I do remember it was always, there was always something going on. Rehearsals went way on into the night, and it was great. It was a great way to start. I mean, certainly, I wasn't one of those kids who grew up thinking, oh, I'll be a musician. I just think it came to me because it was familiar without me knowing it was familiar, if you know what I mean. Instinctual.
Yeah. And you mentioned Iggy Pop, and you said there was a story about him reading you a bedtime story or something.
You know how it is when you're a kid and you have maybe 2 books that you've read over and over and over. I just remember him coming in the room very, very faintly, and because I knew the book inside out, he completely changed it, and it almost went from sort of innocent kind of traditional English storytelling to down and dirty Detroit streets. Yeah, I wish I'd recorded that. That would have been.
Map current location.
I know
L1
maybe
button
you could have
switch
an Iggy Pop bedtime story session, like tapes for young'uns.
Yeah, well, I wonder if has he done. A lot of people do that. CBB story time now, don't they? I wonder if he's ever done that.
Possibly, it could. That could be another source of income for him.
Yeah. But were these the type of people?
Just coming back from this stuff.
You know, you mentioned that you didn't know who your dad was initially. Like, but was he?
Well,
were they knocking around with people like Iggy Pop, basically? Yeah.
I didn't meet my father till I was 27 years old.
It's funny because in the next breath,
quite a lot later in life, I tracked him down. He was actually doing this one kind of thing of giving drum lessons, and I found it through another source and called him up, and it was quite awkward, but we managed to meet. And he was a drummer in a group called Up with Jeff Beck, and he then later went to play with Jeff Beck solo as well. Killing Joke, and Tears for Fears, Paul Weller, just tons of people that I've, you know what I mean. The first time I saw him actually, though, was on television. My grandma just said to me out of the blue, "Oh, your dad's on TV," you know, and it was, I don't know if you remember Nebworth. They used to do a series of concerts each year, and it was always like a big rock concert, and they had Tears for Fears playing, and I looked at my father on the drums, and it was quite a chilling moment. I didn't really know what I was feeling, but it was quite, I mean, it was unmistakably, I was looking at me, you know, it was kind of weird.
It's strange, because I just had a bit of a thing like this. I don't know if you've been on that Ancestry.com, have you?
Do you know what? I wanted to. I've been meaning to do that because other people in my family do, but no, I'd like to. So,
yeah, well, like my friend gave me a free pass for it, and ended up matching someone that said it was my first cousin. But long story short, it turns out she's actually my half sister, and
no way.
And wow. Like who she thought was her dad isn't her dad, and we actually share the same dad that I grew up with, but she didn't. So like she's going through all this kind of thing at the minute.
Wow.
But he passed away a while ago. So it's I don't know. It's difficult for her to get her head around, obviously.
Sure, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, once you're kind of given an idea of who you are, what you are, and how it relates to family, I think it's very difficult to then see other. I mean, it's kind of like what you said there with my father. I mean, I grew up primarily
L1 button switch tab left. R1 button switch tab right. L3 button social. L2
played on
video.
that
L2 button zoom.
Ashes,
Cross button separate boy. Circle button
you know,
back.
Jeff Beck as well, and he kind of raised me. It was a very sort of, you know, taking me to gigs and showing me the ropes. And he was more like a father to me, really, because, you know, we spent a lot of time together, and me and my dad really, throughout his life, he passed away in 2017. We only met a few times, and never for too long either, only for like several hours. And sometimes it would be at concerts. He was playing with Manfred Mann. So yeah, I mean, it's just the way it goes, isn't it? Families are very sort of temperamental. I don't know of any family really that is quote unquote perfect, you know, like in the Hollywood movies or anything like that. I think every family has its secrets and its shadows.
No, yeah, definitely know what you mean. But I mean, I guess, you know, like this idea that your family connected to music in the way they are. Was it just like second nature for you to meet these big people in music, kind of thing?
Well,
Get pissed. L1 button, switch tab left. R1 button, switch tab right. L3 button, social. L2 video and R2 button, zoom. R3 button, community photos. Cross button, separate. Boy, circle button, back.
And, you know, it just... I've had this kind of thing all throughout my life where I've kind of just stumbled into these situations, you know, whether it was someone that I knew, and you knew that person, or, you know, it's just kind of...
Here we go.
These things
visibility?
Just seem quite natural experiences. They just seem to pop up here and there. And, you know, I have kind of like really good luck, and then I have really bad luck when it comes to the whole sort of meeting the right people, so to speak. You know, like, so it varies really. But yeah, I mean, certainly that would have been from day one, because, you know, living above Underhill, I mean, it's allegedly, I don't know if this is the truth or not, obviously, but it's allegedly where Bowie went. There used to be an outside toilet. Apparently David Bowie took his acoustic guitar and went downstairs and wrote Ziggy Stardust out there.
Wow.
But yeah, so it was like, you know, things like this were people coming in and out all the time, and yeah, I mean, it was quite intense at times, you know. But it was also very normal, you know. I didn't really see it as anything. I imagined all kids to live like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean when you're in that situation as a kid, you don't really see any different, I guess. Yeah.
No.
And in terms of picking up a guitar, then was that kind of a thing that happened early for you?
Yeah, I might have been about 8, I think. 8, and then doing that thing of just looking at it. Or of the room looking at it, going, oh yeah, I'll pick it up one day. And then finally when I did, it was just, I kind of took to it like a duck to water, really. It sort of, it came very natural to me to, you know, I wasn't very good at many things, but the guitar I seemed to pick up and gel with and ride out, you know, where if I try other things I'd sort of desert them, but this seemed to be something that would stay with me and be really important to help me develop other relationships and friendships that I might not have done had I not gotten into music. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, and I've got to ask you about this thing with, is it Esther Hansen? Or Kilroy or something?
Yeah, I was quite wild when I was younger, you know. I used to really dress up, so I used to have like full on makeup, shave my legs and wear fishnet tights and heels, and I was really big part of that sort of gothic kind of scene. You know, I loathe labels like that because I'm like a whole variety of different things, but related in those circles. And I remember going to school, it was quite funny, my headmaster hauled me in, and you know, just, he always claimed to be this liberal guy, but for some reason he was having a go at me before, but the way I was looking, thinking, oh, you know, it's, oh, you can't dress like that, and almost asking me to define it, what it's about. And he said, you know, you'll never get anywhere looking like that. And then the phone rang, and apparently it was a BBC calling, an inquiry, and my mum was on the other line. They've asked you to be on Esther Hanson's programme about fashion, which is strange because I've got a few of them. I got, do you remember Kilroy as well?
Yeah.
So I think, like, I don't know how they found out about me, but they're like, okay, here's a guy who sort of dresses up and he's in his teens. And I mean, certainly I didn't know anyone really at my age. I would have been about 17 when Esther Hansen had dressed the way I did at that point. Now it's,
map current location L1.
You can see that everywhere, but back then it was quite controversial. And
was this like the late 90s or something?
That would have been 95.
Right, okay.
I'll never forget, because there was a guy on there who was somehow connected to the Conservatives, and he was like on the judging panel of, it was called, it was about what was good taste and bad taste. So they were like a whole bunch of people in their different outfits on and stuff. And he said, oh, you know, it's shocking or something like that about my image, which I don't think he really felt. I just felt he had to say it for the camera type thing. And I made a wise crack, obviously, about how some Conservative MPs have been called rogue fishing at times too. And they can go down to, like literally like, I don't know, maybe 6 months earlier, one had been caught with like suspenders and stockings and hung himself and done himself in or something.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So, yeah, that got edited out. But it was kind of exciting to dress that way and be on stage with that. I mean, I was already playing music by the time I was 14 and dressing up, and yeah, it was quite an exciting time as a teenager for all that, really, you know. And I was, you know, the kind of, at that point, the scene I was connected to was very underground.
I'd be pretty stupid not to use this spot.
Sort of, I used to frequent a place called Slime, like, down in Angel, Islington. It's still
You're
there
lying,
now.
no.
But, I mean, it was...
Every word he says in that fucking podcast is bollocks.
Still got it.
Mission expired. Map. Paste up, L1 button switch tab left, R1 button switch tab right, L3.
Now that's some good resistance artwork.
Two more.
That probably hurt the resale value.
Do this dub, the next dub, then we can go and set a new one.
One for the museums.
Ready to have left the game.
New game altogether.
Let's liven this place up.
D4RK_D4.
Myself. Okay, so that one. And then what? This? No. That. Fuck's sake. So one more after. I hope it ain't the one we just did.
Decent application.
The very last one was not 5, if I can remember right. Oh, it is. It looks like I may have already done it. We'll see though. No, we haven't.
Still got it.
Great.
Still got it.
Joking, I missed this one. about there. If it ain't done, you get the duck out straight away if it is done. Same thing. Alright, so we'll make use on later. Maybe do something too, who knows?
Map
Anyone have visual? Anyone?
What is it? Maybe this one though. Genuinely legit, I don't think we got this one, so.
Map.
All of them then. Maybe so fast. Oh, I'm pretty sure we don't have.
London Necropolis, restricted area, uniform access for, Clan Kelly, L1 button switch tab left, R1 button switch tab right, L3 button social, L2 video and R2 button zoom, R3 button community photos, cross button set waypoint, circle button back.
I'm picking up an imminent threat in this area.
City event incoming.
If the imminent threat, we just got through this last one and we're out.
Now this spot could use a makeover. Now that's some good resistance artwork.
Down, playing up. Doesn't seem on the blood, does it? Fuck that shit, man. All that bullshit. Next stream's actually going to be half awake, you know what I mean? Different game for now.
New city event.
I just gotta walk into it, hopefully. Yeah, a few actually.
Find the bomber! Drone, do a search. Stop! No point anymore.
I said I'm ashamed we can't do more.
Search up the area. Someone's playing with that vehicle.
Classical.
Right, let's find this joker. Nothing more we can do. They're gone.
I'm not
Map
care
current
about them,
location L1.
Them can do whatever they like. Once they get me break for like several hours, it's so cool. I love peace, respect, and everyone realize Bars YouTube channel.
Press options button to activate text.
You know, like say, there's normally way
Cross
more
button
active.
show virtual keyboard. L3 button open quick messages. Triangle button show MLG. Options
Like,
button quick
way
chat.
more fucking active. But yeah, for today it was dead. Peace, love, respect, motherfuckers.